Thing about business is you can like 99% understand what it is you have to do, right? Like your brain logically knows, okay, this is probably going to work, this probably isn't going to work, but like there's some part of your brain that just convinces you to do new and novel things for whatever reason. I just built a completely new funnel. I spent like all day last week making a landing page, making a VSL, trying to sell direct to checkout when typically like in the past we've always made lead forms work. And lead forms did work. That's the crazy thing. They weren't working quite as well. The current constraint of my business is sales. We're not converting enough of those leads into sales within the first 30 days, or at least that's what I've identified the constraint to be, because that's why we can't spend more on our marketing at the current state of things. So I need to fix that, right? So I'm thinking, okay, and I went to the virtual implementation workshop for the Hormozy thing with the books and all that. So like that's how I think through all this and came to these conclusions. And he talked about how there's multiple paths up the mountain, right? So like the highest leverage path of the mountain is doing one thing that has the highest likelihood of getting a return on that. Like that is the best play. You're going to allocate resources for the greatest result versus like, okay, allocate resources for a good result or an okay result or a negative result. It's like, that's how you think through focus, right? And keep in mind, like I said, my lead campaign, we've always run meta ad lead campaigns and it was working. We were generating leads. So I'm like, okay, let's just make a whole new campaign. And like I somehow convinced myself that this was a good move. But I'm looking back a week later and I'm recognizing like, okay, with the resources we have a leads campaign that's working relatively, right? How much work is it to just improve that campaign compared to make a whole new campaign? Because what I did with the new campaign is I didn't change any of the creative. Like the creative is the exact same in both campaigns, both ad sets. It's just a different CTA. And with such a small budget, you're reaching the same people pretty frequently. So they're seeing the same exact ads, but it's just a different call to action. It's like, it's not really doing anything. My meta ads account is like going crazy. It's like mad at me. It's telling me I'm like messing up all these best practices. And like, it's been bugging me kind of all week. Meta's telling me to double the spend on my leads campaign right now, of course, because I just turned off my sales campaign. It's been bugging me kind of all week because I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I'm making it harder for myself? It's like, sure, that part of me, it hurts because like I was trying to figure out this new way to sell things, and here we are a week later. Keep in mind, it's only been a week, right? It's only been a week. Could I, wait this out a little longer, try to do some things, see how it works? Yeah, but I don't think that's the highest likelihood path up the mountain. I think that we can use all the extra money we were spending trying this sales campaign, put it into our leads campaign, and just work our leads harder, improve our offer, improve our messaging, improve our follow-up. Like, those are all things that are going to make a bigger difference. Like, if we double the amount of conversion of leads, we double the business. So if we get, instead of 5% of leads to sales, we get 10% of leads to sales, that's a pretty material increase. So instead of trying to learn how to get people to click on a link and buy something, which is literally like a completely different thing, something I've never done before. But like, that's the crazy thing. It's like I know all this stuff, and I convinced myself I'd be able to just make it work. I convinced myself it would be easier than it was to just make a sales campaign work when I've never done it before, right? But then I have something that's actually like performing. It's not performing. And that's the thing too. When you are good at something, like I'm notorious, like I always talk about here, I'm like, I'm pretty good at meta lead ads, bro. It's like, I'm alright, right? But when you're confident in your ability, I just let out a wicked spit bubble. I'm sorry. My mouth is, we need a coffee break. When you're confident in something, it's way easier to like take your results for granted. You're like, oh my God, dude, $25 leads. So this is actually a story in and of itself. I 5x'd my lead cost to get better quality leads because when I first started this campaign, dude, I was getting $3 leads. Like, our advertising is extremely efficient, but then I added I added some heavy friction, right? So you'd think that alone would increase the number of, I don't know. We're figuring it out. But whatever. I'm okay at making lead ads. So I should have just done more of that. But instead, I kind of just wasted a whole week. Not wasted a whole week. Like, sure, I still worked my leads for my lead ads. Sure, we still made some sales from the lead ads. But there was just spend going towards, getting people to click on this link and hoping they would buy something. The VSL is going to be valuable anyway. So making that, I'm already actually chopping that up and using it for ads. So I'm not in awe or regretting that. But I spent way too much time on that landing page, which I didn't even need. Spent way too much time setting up the Stripe links and all the little upsells, which I guess we could still use. But, dude, I should have known. I should have known I was falling in a trap. A trap of yo, you don't know how to do this. You could probably learn something different quicker that would, there's just less moving pieces if I would have just stuck with the leads campaign and making all those small things work, right? Instead of completely trying to change my sales process. Just make the current one better. I don't know. I find it funny because I'm always telling myself, it's I'm so focused. I'm only doing these one things. But sure. You can consider this focus. It's sure, you're advertising. You're spending your time advertising. That's one layer of focus. But one of my big lessons from, I think it was quarter one. I made a quarter one lessons video on here. One of my big lessons was there are layers to focus. And I guess all that to say, I was going to save this for another video, but my focus, my 30-day sprint that started yesterday from September 24th to whenever, we'll call it a month, I don't know when that is, sometime in mid-October, I don't know how months work. All I'm going to be focused on is I'm going to make new ad creative every single day or change something about our nurture process, right? So it's either going to be how do we jam more people in on the front end, or how do we nurture them better? So what I mean by nurture process, I'm not talking about actually working the leads. I'm talking about what do they see when they when they submit the lead form, maybe tweaking something there, or what are the emails they get? What are the call to actions the emails they get? All that kind of stuff. Where are we sending the traffic after we get the lead? So most of those days will be spent just making new ads, but I kind of left that in there as another thing I can work on because that's beneficial too. It solves the same problem in a mildly different way. And then 2, just working the shit on my leads. I always think I work my leads pretty good. Bro, I have a pipeline full. Most small business owners would kill for my CRM, bro. I have thousands of qualified leads that I've maybe only reached out to once or twice. And it's I'm just that's just been sitting there. So yes, on the topic of focus, we're just this next 30 days, we're just gonna do these 3 things. And I think that I can double my percentage of leads to sales if I just do these 2 things. Work my leads, make new creative. Every single day. Those are the 2 marketing focuses. That's it. We're not starting any new campaigns. We're not running any special offers. We're just going to do those 2 things. Might run some special offers. We'll see. But, yeah, that's what I've determined. And I determined that before I even shut off this sales campaign. But then I'm thinking, it's okay, I just spent all this money on this sales campaign, and I didn't get anything. I got link traffic, which means essentially nothing. When I'm getting leads, even if those leads ghost me, or even if those leads don't turn into sales as quickly as I would like to, I still have their email and phone number. And they're still entering our ecosystem. They're still on the email list. They're still, it's much more valuable. It's I'd rather, for the sales campaign, let's say I just spent $500 and got nothing back. In the leads campaign, maybe I didn't monetarily get anything back, but I spent $500 and I got 20 people's contact info. That's a way different. So yeah, I came to that conclusion, and yeah, Thursday, September 25th, the focus of the next 30 days is just work the leads, make new ads, work the leads, make new ads, work the leads, make new ads. And I think that's going to have a material impact on my business. So we'll check in October 24th, but, or whenever that is. So that's it for this video. Stay focused. You might think you're being focused. Like, this whole time, I legitimately had no guilt about this. Like, I thought this was, like, one of the right things to do. But now I'm looking back, and it's like, okay, just, like, using my logical brain. Not, because I was all excited about the fact. I'm like, oh, my God. If I can get people to just click on our link and spend $500 and then take all these upsells. It's like, yeah, but it's also, like, notoriously known that that's a lot harder nowadays. Like, if you're not selling, like, super low ticket, which, like, 500 is, like, relatively low ticket. It's, like, mid, I would say. It's really hard to just get people to click on a landing page with a VSL and buy shit. Like, nowadays, people really need a lot more brand trust, so... But I was like horny about, so that's a bad word. I was horny about the idea of like people just clicking and just like getting money. Boom, boom, boom. These people are just pay. Because people do like buy stuff on our website sometimes, which is cool. I'm like, oh my God, this person just swiped their credit card without ever talking to me. And that's cool, but it's like, that's one in like 1,000 people that are going to do that. Whatever, that's my talk for today. I hope you can take away something from this because I definitely can. Like, I definitely, like, this is a impactful realization for me. So, hope you guys have a great Thursday.